if the rest of the opposition comes together, and then we keep on dividing our country, exactly in the middle, and nobody can win conclusively. People then decide that, whoever has won hasn't won, and then we get into conflict. And actually, 2027, if the IBC, as we were told, they are not completely prepared and people don't trust them, if they don't up their game, since they are in there now, then it means we are staring at 2007, 8. Let me just like the question that you asked: is there any need for a united opposition? I think first of all, one can pose the question whether it is Huru, like I've heard, king making for Matiang, or Wamunyoro king making for Kalonzo, or Raila king making for Ruto too. All these people have worked together in the past. They have worked together actually buddy. So even when one says there are significant or basic differences within them, I think that has to be interrogated so that whoever would win, even when they run against each other, what would convince us that in terms of how the country is run, it would be significantly different. So I think that's the one question I want to pose first. And maybe I'll just pose a few more questions. If we say that the politics will be tribal, as I have heard people say, then it means that both Uhuru and Wamunyoro king making for Matiang and Kalonzo disadvantage them, because in the tribal maths there will be a division in those tribal maths, and that therefore would mean Raila king making for Ruto 2 may have an advantage. But when you asked, is opposition unity necessary? Should it happen or not? Maybe also people need to examine this possibility that, of course, solid opposition unity in terms of mobilizing people on tribal basis or whatever basis would be a good thing because there are numbers. And if the politics are going to be arranged through tribe, money, and who controls government, then the opposition united solidly, of course, without government, they would have to look for the money. I don't know whether, who would provide the money. And of course, the money should be provided for any elections, especially when one is organizing on a tribal basis. So it means maybe the opposition in that instance would have some chance. Then, if they are disunited, and Matiang is a candidate, Kalonzo is a candidate, whoever else is a candidate, and so on and so forth, isn't there also a possibility that nobody may get 50% or the 25% in 24 counties? That is also something to be interrogated. But what troubles me most is when will our politics gravitate towards ideological politics? And I think that is what the young people are pushing. And so we are not interrogating in this debate so far. Suppose they continue to be united as they were June 2024 and June 2025, and those 8 million who didn't vote, the 3.3 to 4 million who are registered and didn't vote or didn't even get an ID card at 18 plus, and the 4 million new Gen Z voters, which is 15 to 16. Suppose they decided that their street energy is translated into ballot energy, and there was mobilization to achieve that. And maybe that's where, people like Fred Ogola, people like Akina Omtata, Akina Mwangi, Akina Ruben Kigame, Akina Maraga, and so on and so forth, if they were able to actually excite young people, and the young people are not also hardened into the tribal, thing, then maybe that could also change the country. So I think up to now, as I look at the picture myself, it's an open it's a bit open. We haven't gotten to the situation where now we can say it is shut and it is clear. It is clear that it will be this person, being a candidate, that person winning, and so on and so forth. I think if Raila decides that Ruto can win, he'll stay with Ruto. If anything happens and he realizes that Ruto cannot win, he will leave Ruto. And it will not be because he wants to. He will be forced by the ODM brigade, who will tell him that as you exit through age, don't destroy ODM and don't destroy us. So again, that's another thing to consider. Indeed, if Raila did not, come to Ruto 2025, maybe we would have speaking about a different thing. The only problem was, even at that time, suppose the government had fallen, it was not clear, who would fill in the gap, and that was something that, although Miguna said there's a way in which it can be done, maybe that way was not completely clear. So our country continues to have politics without the possibility of transformation. And if we go the tribal route, still Ruto with Raila, they could have an advantage if the rest of the opposition comes together, and then we keep on dividing our country, exactly in the middle, and nobody can win conclusively. People then decide that whoever has won hasn't won, and then we get into conflict. And actually, 2027, if the IBC, as we were told, they are not completely prepared and people don't trust them, if they don't up their game, since they are in there now, then it means we are staring at 2007, 8. So I think we need more incisive debates to see what you ask me, Aman, as I conclude. This united opposition, is it able to indicate with, the progressive people and so on, who can actually show Kenyans that there is the possibility of different politics? I think that's a question. Again, one thinks about these questions and they are not easy questions, and therefore they keep on disturbing your mind. And then again, if Ruto comes back, one was asking, what is it that Raila has done in the broad-based government to tame the excesses of Ruto? Because if that was clear, then people would say he had a good cause for joining Ruto. But what happened in terms of the young people disappearing, being killed, and blah 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 blah, then we didn't see that restraining element of Raila and of ODM, so that even when Sifuna and Babu and Wamchomba and so on say they are Kenya Moja, one is not very clear on what is that front for, whether it's not somebody being told, you go out there and become some opposition so that you prevent, some real opposition from gelling. So I think, Eman, I've just posed more questions than, kind of saying. Thank you. This is what I can see. Prof. Asante sana.